The day she regretted it was the day everything changed. Standing in the rain outside his modest apartment building, Olivia Montgomery, heiress to the Montgomery tech fortune, watched as Marcus gathered his daughter's belongings into trash bags, eviction notice taped to his door. She could have prevented this. She should have told him the truth weeks ago. But now it was too late, and the look of betrayal in his eyes when he spotted her would haunt her forever. If you're enjoying this story of unexpected love, heartbreak, and redemption, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more emotional journeys that remind us what truly matters in life. Marcus Collins never expected to fall in love again after his wife died during childbirth 3 years ago. His world revolved around his daughter Emma and the constant struggle to make ends meet. Working 2 jobs, as a mechanic during the day and a janitor at night, left little time for anything else. But he managed to create a loving home for Emma, even if their apartment was small and the neighborhood wasn't the best. The coffee shop incident changed everything. It was a Tuesday morning, and Marcus had splurged on a rare cup of coffee before his shift. Emma was chattering away about preschool when she accidentally bumped into a woman's arm, causing hot coffee to spill across expensive-looking documents. Marcus was mortified, immediately offering napkins and apologies while trying to calm Emma, who burst into tears at the commotion. "I'm so sorry about your papers," Marcus said, his face flushed with embarrassment. "I can pay for the dry cleaning or—" The woman looked up, and Marcus felt something shift in the air between them. She had the most striking green eyes he'd ever seen, framed by simple glasses. Her business suit was clearly expensive, but she wore it with a casual confidence that didn't feel showy. "It's nothing," she said with a warm smile, kneeling to Emma's level. "Hey there, no tears needed. See? Just paper. It can be replaced." Emma sniffled, looking up cautiously. "You're not mad?" "Not even a little bit," the woman replied, pulling a small paper crane from her pocket and offering it to Emma. "I'm Olivia." That chance meeting should have been nothing more than a pleasant memory. But 3 days later, Marcus spotted Olivia at the same coffee shop. And then again the following week. Soon, their coffee encounters became the highlight of his exhausting routine. What Marcus didn't know was that Olivia Montgomery had deliberately changed her morning schedule to accidentally run into him again. As the CEO of Montgomery Tech, a company valued at billions, Olivia could have had her coffee delivered by an assistant. But something about the genuine care in Marcus's eyes when he looked at his daughter had touched something long dormant in her heart. Their friendship developed slowly. Olivia was careful to dress down for their coffee meetings, leaving her driver blocks away and wearing her simplest clothes. She told him she worked in tech consulting, which wasn't entirely a lie. What she didn't mention was that she consulted because she owned the company. For the first time in her life, Olivia experienced what it felt like to be valued for herself rather than her fortune. The men she typically met either wanted her money or were intimidated by her success. Marcus just seemed to enjoy her company, laughing at her jokes and sharing stories about Emma's latest adventures. When he finally asked her to dinner, his nervousness was palpable. "It's nothing fancy," he warned. "I can't afford much, but I know a place that makes amazing burgers." Olivia's heart ached at his honesty. "Burgers sound perfect," she said. Their first date was at a small diner where the owner greeted Marcus by name. They talked for hours, and Olivia found herself sharing things she'd never told anyone, about growing up with distant parents, about the pressure of inheriting a company at 25 when her father died unexpectedly, about her loneliness despite being surrounded by people. Of course, she carefully edited her stories, replacing board meetings with team meetings and her penthouse with my apartment. The deception weighed on her, but each time she considered telling him the truth, fear stopped her. What if he changed toward her? What if he thought she had been mocking him? As weeks turned into months, their relationship deepened. Marcus introduced Olivia to Emma, a step he didn't take lightly. The little girl was initially shy but quickly warmed to Olivia, especially when she discovered Olivia could make paper cranes in various sizes. My dad says you're smart, Emma declared one evening while Marcus was cooking dinner in his tiny kitchen. Does he? Olivia smiled, helping Emma with a puzzle. Yeah. He says you're the smartest person he knows. And the prettiest. From the kitchen, Marcus called out, Emma. Some conversations are private, remember? But the damage was done, and Olivia's cheeks flushed with pleasure. Later that night, after Emma was asleep, Marcus kissed Olivia for the first time. It was gentle and hesitant, but it felt more real than anything in her carefully constructed world. The facade began crumbling when Marcus lost his mechanic job. The garage was closing down, and despite his skills, finding another position proved difficult. His pride prevented him from telling Olivia immediately, but the strain showed in his tired eyes and tense shoulders. When he finally confessed, Olivia's instinct was to solve the problem with money, to buy the garage, to give him a loan, to do something. Instead, she bit her tongue and just listened. I'll figure it out, he assured her. I always do. It's just tough right now with Emma's preschool payments and the rent increase. That night, Olivia made a decision. She would tell him everything and offer help, not as charity but as someone who cared deeply for him. But before she could, life intervened in the cruelest way. Marcus's landlord, tired of late payments, issued an eviction notice. The same day, Emma developed a high fever that required an emergency room visit. Without health insurance, the bills would be devastating. When Olivia arrived at the hospital, Marcus was sitting with his head in his hands, looking utterly defeated. I can't do this anymore, he whispered when she sat beside him. I'm failing her. Olivia took his hand. You're not failing anyone. Let me help, Marcus. His eyes narrowed slightly. Help how? Olivia, I appreciate it, but I can't take money from you. You work hard for your consulting job, and I know you have your own bills. That's what I need to tell you, she began, heart pounding. I'm not exactly who you think I am. The conversation was interrupted by the doctor, who assured them Emma would be fine but needed medication and rest. By the time they got back to Marcus's apartment, it was late, and Emma was asleep in her father's arms. Olivia helped tuck her in, promising herself she would tell Marcus everything in the morning. But morning brought disaster. A colleague recognized Olivia as she left Marcus's building and snapped a photo that quickly made its way to a gossip site, Montgomery heiress slumming it? Billionaire CEO spotted in rundown neighborhood. Marcus saw the article when a coworker at his night job showed him. The photo was unmistakably Olivia, leaving his building. The article detailed her vast fortune, her company's recent acquisition of a smaller tech firm, and speculated about her charity case boyfriend. When Olivia arrived at his apartment the next day, ready to finally tell the truth, she found him packing. The eviction was proceeding, but it was the cold fury in his eyes that stopped her in her tracks. Was it amusing, he asked quietly, to avoid waking Emma. Watching me worry about a $50 dinner bill when you could buy the restaurant? Was it some kind of social experiment? No, Marcus, it wasn't like that, Olivia pleaded. I just wanted someone to see me, not my money. So you lied. 4 months. You watched me struggle, stress about bills, lose sleep over Emma's preschool tuition, and said nothing. I was going to tell you. When? After how much more deception? His voice cracked. I trusted you. I let you into Emma's life. Do you know what that means to me? The rain started as Olivia left his building, rejected and heartbroken. She stood across the street, watching as Marcus continued packing their meager belongings. That was the moment, the day she regretted everything. Not just the lies, but the fear that had kept her from being honest from the beginning. For 2 weeks, Marcus ignored her calls and texts. He moved in with a coworker temporarily and took on extra shifts to save for a new place. Emma asked about Olivia constantly, adding to his heartache. He missed her, her laugh, her thoughtfulness, the way she listened like every word mattered. But the betrayal cut too deep. Meanwhile, Olivia threw herself into work, appearing at board meetings with red-rimmed eyes and a newfound ruthlessness that surprised her executives. At night, she would drive by his old building, knowing he wasn't there but unable to stay away. The turning point came from an unexpected source. Marcus's elderly neighbor, Mrs. Patel, tracked him down at the garage where he still worked night shifts. "That girl loves you," Mrs. Patel said without preamble. "She comes by the building almost every night, just sitting in her car." "She lied about everything," Marcus replied, continuing to mop the floor. "Did she? Or did she just omit her bank balance?" Mrs. Patel fixed him with a stern look. "She never pretended to be someone else. The woman you fell in love with, her kindness, her intelligence, how she is with Emma, that was all real." The words haunted Marcus for days. Was his pride worth losing someone he loved? Would he want Emma to learn that kind of lesson, that being hurt justifies shutting people out? On Emma's 4th birthday, a package arrived at the co-workers' apartment where they were staying. Inside was a handmade book of paper cranes, each page showing how to fold increasingly complex designs. The note simply read, "I miss you both. The woman you knew was the real me. The rest is just circumstance." Oh. That night, after Emma was asleep clutching her new book, Marcus made a decision. He found Olivia's office address online and took 3 buses to reach the imposing Montgomery Tech building downtown. The security guard almost didn't let him in, but Marcus's determination must have shown on his face. "Tell her Marcus Collins is here," he said. "If she doesn't want to see me, I'll leave." Olivia was in a board meeting when her assistant interrupted with the message. She froze mid-sentence, then excused herself so quickly that several board members exchanged concerned glances. In the lobby, Marcus stood awkwardly in his work clothes, looking out of place among the sleek furnishings and well-dressed employees. When the elevator doors opened and Olivia stepped out, the look of vulnerability on her face nearly undid him. "You came," she said simply. "I needed to know if any of it was real," he replied. Olivia took a deep breath. "All of it was real, Marcus. Every conversation, every feeling. The only thing that wasn't real was my pretense of being ordinary." "I don't care about the money," Marcus said. "I care that you didn't trust me enough to tell me the truth." "It wasn't about trust," she admitted. "It was fear. Everyone in my life wants something from me. You were the first person in years who just wanted my company. I was afraid to lose that." They talked for hours, first in a quiet corner of the lobby, then walking through a nearby park. Olivia explained her world, the pressure, the isolation, the constant suspicion of others' motives. Marcus shared his fears too, of not being enough, of being seen as a charity case, of disrupting Emma's life with more loss. "I can't promise it will be easy," Olivia said finally. "My life comes with complications I can't change. And I can't promise I won't sometimes feel out of place in your world," Marcus replied. "But I think we're worth the effort." Their reconciliation wasn't immediate or simple. They agreed to start again, with complete honesty this time. Olivia met Emma as herself, not just Olivia who made paper cranes, but Olivia Montgomery who ran a company and happened to have resources that could make their lives easier. To Marcus's surprise, Emma was unfazed by Olivia's wealth. "Does this mean you can make a really big paper crane?" was her only question. Gradually, they built something new together. Marcus accepted Olivia's help finding a better apartment but insisted on paying what he could afford. He enrolled in night classes to become a certified mechanical engineer, while Olivia learned to balance her demanding career with time for their relationship. 6 months later, when Marcus and Emma moved into their new apartment, modest but in a safe neighborhood with good schools, Olivia helped them unpack. As Emma arranged her books on a new shelf, she looked up at them both. "Are we a family now?" she asked with a child's directness. Marcus and Olivia exchanged glances, a world of understanding passing between them. "We're working on it," Marcus answered honestly. That night, after Emma was asleep, they sat on the small balcony of the new apartment. The city lights spread before them, and Olivia leaned her head on Marcus's shoulder. "I never thought I'd find this," she confessed. "Someone who sees past everything else to just, me." Marcus took her hand. "And I never thought I'd love again after losing Emma's mother. We both found something we didn't expect." A year after their first meeting in the coffee shop, Marcus proposed. Not with an expensive ring he couldn't afford, but with a paper crane he'd painstakingly learned to fold, containing a simple message inside: "Will you build a life with us?" Olivia said yes through tears, and their journey continued, not without challenges, but with the foundation of honesty they'd fought to establish. Their wedding was small, with Emma as flower girl and Mrs. Patel in the front row. Olivia wore a simple dress rather than a designer gown, and Marcus wore a new suit that made him look uncomfortable until Olivia whispered something that made him laugh. They built a life that balanced both their worlds. Olivia continued running her company but delegated more to make time for family. Marcus finished his education and started a program providing mechanical training to underprivileged youth, funded partly by the Montgomery Foundation. 5 years after that rainy day when Olivia stood watching Marcus pack his belongings, they sat together on the porch of a comfortable but not ostentatious house. Emma, now 9, was teaching her 3-year-old brother how to fold a paper crane in the yard. "Do you ever regret it?" Marcus asked suddenly. "Giving up some of your old life?" Olivia watched their children, her heart full. "I didn't give up anything that mattered," she replied. "I gained everything." The day she had once regretted became, in retrospect, the day that saved them both, forcing honesty, breaking down walls, and proving that what they had built together was stronger than pride or fear or circumstance. Their story wasn't about a poor man and a rich woman finding unlikely love. It was about two people who, despite their differences, recognized something essential in each other, a shared understanding that the truest wealth comes from being known and loved for exactly who you are. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Remember that authentic connections matter more than appearances, and sometimes the greatest love stories begin with a spilled coffee and a paper crane. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.